It's very, very simple with cryptocurrency, what the fundamental value of it is. The only value that it draws is the amount of money that are moved into that asset, so the market capitalization of it. And then you take that and divide it by X amount of currency in existence. And voila, you have the current market price. So the more people, move into a currency, that's how you see the value of that currency goes up. So for example, Bitcoin back in the day, when I looked at it first, probably had a market cap under $1 billion. And then of course, currently it has a market cap of 38 billion. And the value went from, 25 and under up to currently 3,300 Canadian dollars. So what you see is, it's all based upon, of course, the value and usage of that currency, what it could give you as a utilization. That's very, very important to see what kind of things can you do with the currency or the asset blockchain that you're investing in.
So my perspective on cryptocurrencies sort of comes from my belief in free markets, and that, I think that governments meddling in the economy is responsible for a lot of the problems in the world today. Cryptocurrencies get their value, I think, just like anything else, which is because people value them. I think that kind of has to start with speculation. By buying and holding Bitcoin, for example, you're sort of signaling to the market that you value it. The more people that value something, typically the greater the value of that thing is going to be, especially with something like currency or a network. That's why they refer to it as network effect. And Bitcoin at this point has a very large network effect. Every person that's added to the system basically gives the system or the network more value. Basically with altcoins, how I determine the kind of fundamental value is I look at kind of what they offer that Bitcoin doesn't. I mentioned earlier Litecoin. Litecoin, in my opinion, it was probably a dead coin. It was basically just a clone of Bitcoin. Until recently, it was just kind of sitting there, I think sort of just dying a slow death. Recently though, it's adopted an upgrade that was actually supposed to be for Bitcoin, which Bitcoin hasn't adopted yet. So now all of a sudden, Litecoin's gone up in price a lot due to that. Basically, this upgrade can give it or allow it to do things that Bitcoin can't do. So it can scale, whereas Bitcoin is having this kind of scaling issue ongoing right now. It can do instant transactions and stuff like that, and a bunch of other stuff potentially. So now all of a sudden, Litecoin, in my eyes, has some potential. So, I diversified recently a little bit into Litecoin, whereas I never would have done that before. So I just kind of keep my eye on the news regarding them. And I think it takes a general understanding of how the technology works and stuff. So I think you should, learn about it. I think a person investing in any cryptocurrencies kind of needs to do enough research and get a basic understanding of how the technology works, because I think that if you don't understand it at all, then how do you really come to the decision to say diversify out of Bitcoin into Litecoin or something like that, right? So I look at the use case. Bitcoin currently doesn't really have the privacy of Monero and those other altcoins like that. So in my opinion, they kind of have value. Yeah, so to sum it up, the different unique use cases that are unique from Bitcoin, that's sort of what I look at. Aside from the use case, how easy is it going to be to exit my position if I want to? Some of these ones that are, there's 730 altcoins or something right now. If you're going to buy the the one on the list that's number 730 in terms of market cap, then you could buy it at 0.001 cents, and it might go to $1, and you might be holding 10% of the total supply of the currency. If it goes to $1 and there's no liquidity, just because you're a multi-millionaire doesn't mean you're going to actually be able to get out of that position. Like, you're not going to be able to actually sell it because there's just not enough people in the market, period. So, you might want to consider that as well. Just stick with things that are in the top in terms of market cap.